Yo, what is going on, you frazzled flapple? I know I was talking a little bit of smack on Rayquaza VMAX the other day when I was playing games with Reggie Draco, but I do think the deck has a ton of untapped potential and has not been fully explored into the best ways to play the Rayquaza. So I'm going to play some games with Rayquaza VMAX today. So let's take a look at the card, take a look at my current build, and go over that. So if you guys have no idea what Rayquaza VMAX does, this is it. 320 HP. It's a VMAX, so it's effectively a stage 1 Azure Pulse. Once during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 3 cards, and this isn't limited to once per turn of the ability. So if we have 4 Rayquazas in play, we can use 4 Azure Pulses a turn, meaning we'll see 12 new cards every single turn at the minimum if we have 4 of them in play. And then Max Burst for a Fire and a Lightning. 20 damage plus, we may discard all of our Fire, or as many of our Fires we want, or as many of our Lightning as we want, but we can't discard Lightning and Fire energy at the same time when we use the attack. We have to pick one or the other. So if we have 4 Lightning energy on us, we can discard all 4 Lightning and then do 340 damage. And that's usually what we're discarding because we combo this Rayquaza VMAX with the Flaffy, which has the Dynamo ability, which says once during your turn, you may attach a Lightning Energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. So a Rayquaza, if we have Rayquaza in the active, then we can put some energy on a Rayquaza on the bench with the Flaffies. And then we can like Air Balloon, which is the switch card I have in here. I don't have any switches in here right now, but I'm still trying to make this deck work without switch. It's been going okay still so far. And then go into a new Rayquaza attack with the fresh Rayquaza. Another card that I don't play in here is I don't play the Kricketune. Tried it out the other day without Kricketune, and it felt pretty good setting up the 4th Flaffy, or just setting up 3 Rayquaza instead of a Kricketune. Felt pretty good overall, so I was not really missing the Kricketune. I think I'm going to keep testing it down this route with no Kricketune and just see how it feels, but it was feeling pretty good the other day. So I was really enjoying that on the stream. By the way, if you don't follow the stream, go give it a follow. First link in the description, twitch.tv/AzulGG. Go check out the stream. I stream every day except Tuesdays and other days where, you know, I'm just not feeling it. So 4 for Rayquaza VMAX, 4 for Flaffy, with the Dynamo ability to get the Lightning Energy in play to fuel our Max Burst attack. Looking at the rest of the deck, we have 4 Research, no Marnie in this deck, unlike most decks in the format. But we do play some Roses to help us accelerate extra energy into play on a turn. And then, of course, we have some Boss in here because we don't want to be forced to always KO what our opponent is putting in their active. So a couple Boss, a couple Rose to help us get more energy in play, and, of course, the usual suspect of Professor's Research. And we have a Pound Pad in here because we are aggressive with that Azure Pulse, which forces us to discard cards that we might not want to discard, but we kind of have to keep the game flowing and keep it moving. So we play some Pound Pad, or play a Pound Pad in here to recover stuff like our Boss and Roses for later, or sometimes Research. Another card that I recently included to try out is Pokegears, because we only play Research as a draw supporter, so it's super important for us to find that to get us going in our first couple turns of the game. So I added some Pokegears in here because I could have played something like a Marnie, but we really want to be really aggressive and draw as many cards as possible turn to turn. So I'd rather have more outs to Research than include something like a Marnie. So we got 2 Pokegear in here alongside the 4 Research. And these can also be used to help us find Boss or Rose as well throughout the game. 2 Ordinary Rod for a similar reason as the Pound Pad. We're discarding cards aggressively. We're using Research, we're using Azure Pulse. We want to be able to recover other Ray VMAXs, or if our opponent focuses and KOs Flaffies or Mareeps, we want to be able to recover those as well. So we have 2 Ordinary Rod in here for that. And as far as the Pokemon search line goes, I got 4 Level Ball, which makes a ton of sense. It finds the whole Flaffy line. I got 4 Quick Ball, of course. Best card in the game to find a Mareep and a Rayquaza V. And then I got 4 Great Ball. I've been trying the Great Ball over the Evolution Incense, and so far it definitely has felt a little bit better because it helps us more aggressively find our Rayquaza Vs and our Mareeps, 2 things that the Evolution Incense can't find. And once we get our Ray VMAXs online, drawing those extra cards through the Azure Pulses, we're seeing so much of our deck that the Great Balls will either just draw into the Flaffies, or the Great Balls will usually find them. So I haven't been missing the Evolution Incense a whole ton yet, but I could definitely see myself switching back, or maybe going with like a split of 2-2 or something. Or maybe the Pokegears come out for Evolution Incense if I feel like these don't offer enough value. And then we have 3-9 on the energy split. Most people run the 3-8, but I've been liking the 3-9 because finding Lightning Energy faster, more aggressively to get it into the discard pile, to make sure you can use your Dynamotors turn after turn after turn as soon as you get them into play is a pretty big deal. So I like the little bit heavier of a lightning count. I would even like to go up to 10 potentially if I could find space for a 10th Lightning Energy, because you really want to find them as soon as possible and then get them into the discard pile. We only have so many ways to get them into the discard pile. We have to find them first. You can't like play Research, see the Lightning Energy, and then put it in the discard pile all the time. So you got to have it before the Research or before the Azure Pulse. So the more the better, but I think I would lean a little bit more towards like adding Evolution Incense, or even maybe if Pokegears feel really good, more Pokegears to help us find that Research in the early turn. So that's the list. Let's go ahead. Let's try it out and see if we can't win some games. All right, getting into it, we won the coin flip. I have been going first, but I haven't been feeling like it's like that big of an advantage for us. I guess one thing I just didn't mention, we do play Stormy Mountains, of course, to help us find more basic lightning or basic dragon Pokemon, whichever one we want on the turn in the situation. Looks like we're up against a Calyrex VMAX. So, man, they might not play the Path to the Peak. A lot of people have been cutting the Path to the Peak for that more checkmatey kind of build with like Metacham and stuff. So I don't even know if I want to be aggressive with this or not. I guess a lot of it will depend on is if, man, I guess we probably just should be aggressive with it. We do have the research. I was playing 4 of the stadium at one point, but I was feeling like it was a little bit overkill. I was finding them really, really fast very often. And I think I'll save this to try and find an evolution on the next turn. So yeah, go ahead and pass over to my opponent. But yeah, I felt like I was like, four Stormy Mountains was a little bit overkill because I was seeing it so often. But I think if Path to the Peak ever becomes popular, you want to put a 4th one back in just so you can see it to counter Path to the Peak more often. But I feel like Path to the Peak isn't that popular right now. So 3 feels like it's probably fine. But finding it turn 1 is super good, and then finding it whenever your opponent has, counters your stadium to get it back into play to find it. After like the first 2 turns, it does seem to lose value because your bench will be full by then. But for the first 2 turns of the game, Stormy Mountains is super good. And then, of course, with one of our biggest kind of draw, effects being the ability of Rayquaza VMAX, keeping Path to the Peak out of play is also a really big deal. So that's like another thing we want to kind of lean on a little bit is like we need this in play to keep the Path to the Peaks out of play, which means we can use Rayquaza's ability more consistently. So that can be, a thing as well. Looks like my opponent has a little bit of a slow start. Looks like they're going with a Keep Calling, which isn't always an indicator of a slow start, but usually they want to see the energy on the Calyrex V. So maybe a little bit of a slow start here from my opponent. Here we go, double Sabo. Doesn't get the 3rd, could be prized. Maybe don't want to lock their bench. One of the 2, both make sense here. So we got the Rayquaza VMAX, we got the Flaffy, we got the Research. I don't really want to use Stormy Mountains yet. I think I'm going to start with the Great Ball, see what this gets us. Gets a Mareep. Now I think I will go with the Stormy Mountains before I research because I really don't. I want to get the 4th Flaffy into play, but I'm not like. I'd rather not draw into this Rayquaza. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal if I don't get the 4th Flaffy into play this turn. It would just kind of be nice, I guess, more so than anything, but definitely not a necessity. And I think I do want to get the 4th Flaffy if I was going to pick something to put in play. We can. So we'll start with this, see if we can get a Flaffy or Mareep. Got the Flaffy, or Mareep, not Flaffy, my bad. Another Great Ball here. Going to go ahead and grab. We can't evolve that, so I guess I'm going to fail this one. Play the level ball, grab Mareep. More sheep. The more sheep, the better, I guess. Get that into play. Fire energy here, and then go ahead and Azure Pulse. See if we can't get an air balloon. I would love to take this KO on the Sobble here. If we can we find the air balloon? No air balloon find. Not really that big of a deal. Would have liked it. Sometimes you don't get everything you want, though, so we're going to have to settle for not having it and just go ahead and pass to my opponent, I think. Yeah, sure. Why not? It's not that big of a deal that we didn't get it, to be honest, because if they go with back-to-back VMAXs, we can go knock out a 3-prizer, knock out a 3-prizer, and that still is our 6 prize card, so it's not too big of a deal. If we don't get this KO, this does open up more avenues. Also, it takes a Sobble away from my opponent, which can be a big deal in limiting my opponent's potential to, get to the Drizziles, or be able to utilize Drizzile, and also get to the Inteleons, right? If they one less Inteleon quick shooting that they have to work with, could be a pretty big deal, right? So, definitely want to take it out. Wasn't able to this time, but it's not the end of the world. We'll definitely be fine either way, I think. As long as we're able to piece together a little bit more here. We are down... Oh, I thought we were down 3 research. I was like, we are down 3 research, so that doesn't feel great. We don't have a ton of lightning. And this is what I was talking about, like, with the lightning energy. You got to find them first, and then also you have to find them and then get them into the discard pile. So like I said, I've been liking the 9 lightning. That's been feeling really good. I would like to go up to 10 even, because like you got to find them, get them in the discard pile, get them moving, right? So... Actually, I don't even know why I evolved this. I evolved it before I used Azure Pulse. That's why I evolved. I was like, why did I evolve this? It's just going to get KO'd. But yeah, I evolved it before I used Azure Pulse. And there's that Path to the Peak I was talking about. Like I said, we do play 3 Stormy Mountains. Stormy Mountains. We do have 1 in the hand here. So shouldn't be too big of a deal, to be honest. We should be able to... We'll have the counter for this one, but the later Path to the Peak is going to be a little bit harder to deal with. We haven't discarded our 3rd stadium yet. But yeah, my opponent's got easy access to them through the Drizziles and the Inteleon with the Shady Dealings to easily find them. So that's a little bit scary. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit scary, but it looks like they have another slow turn, and they're probably just gonna go with a pass here. I still want to KO the Sobble. I think I'm gonna KO it with a Rayquaza V, though, with a Spiral Burst. It's gonna be the plan to just load up more energy on this Rayquaza VMAX. We'll see what my opponent fully does here. I mean, it doesn't look like they're gonna be attacking me. I guess they could go with a Pierce. I'm not really scared of a Pierce, to be honest. That's not that big of a deal at all. I'm fine if they go with a Pierce here. All right, so Slow turn for my opponent. Top deck to Rose. Don't love to see it. Would love to have that in the deck for later. It looks like our Pal Pad is prized. Unless I discarded it. Nope, didn't discard it yet. Throw down on Fresh Mountain. Evolve to Flaffy. And we will discard this energy here because kind of just don't. We can just attach later. Rather get in the discard pile to set up the Dynamotor. There's an Ordinary Rod. We can't draw any more cards, actually. So we got this level ball. We can get the last Flaff. But, yeah, 4 Air Balloon are in there. It's all in there. No hits for me. And to be honest, this is not feeling that great. We're kind of stuck here, just not drawn into our Air Balloons. I'm going to go with a pass. No draw supporter to work with either. So now I am really scared of Path to the Peak because our draw support on board right now is that Azure Pulse. No research in the hand, like I said. So we're really relying on the Azure Pulse being our way to find cards. So I'm kind of scared. Path to the Peak comes in play this turn. We might be in trouble. We might be in big trouble. Big trouble. So we really hope that doesn't happen. When my opponent can't find a Path to the Peak. I mean, maybe they only play 2 and 1 is prize. That's also something that's been pretty common that I've seen people playing only like 2 Paths to the Peaks. So maybe they prize their second one. And yeah, we won't get Path to the Peak this turn. But they probably have access to a Drizzile in that hand. So that means if they have one in the deck, I wouldn't be surprised if they go after it by evolving this Sobble into the Drizzile to find it. But the game's not over yet, even though I'm talking like we're kind of in it. We are definitely not in the best of spots. I'm not going to lie. We're not in the best of spots. I don't love the situation, but we're definitely like not out of it quite yet. We haven't gotten to the point where my opponent has like a ton of quick shooting damage in play and they're just kind of waiting to use Max Lance before we get to attack. We're definitely in a spot where, you know, we could go with a Azure Pulse next turn and find like Air Balloon plus Boss and then go, well, it looks like they're going to get aggressive here actually and bring up my Rayquaza VMAX and then ping my bench Rayquaza V. So I think I'm getting hit with this one. Right of the Hacking or the Max Lance. Curious to see what they go with. But we could pretty easily get a one-hit KO here. We just need a Lightning Energy, and we do have 6 of those left. I do play 9. So there's 6 of those left. Should be easy to get one in a 23-card deck, as long as we're able to use Azure Pulse. All right, but there's the Max Lance. So we are going to get to use Azure Pulse here as they hit us for 250 damage. Still a lot of damage, though, for sure. There's the Air Balloon. Oh, love to see it. So we're probably getting KO'd. Our active is probably getting KO'd. I kind of want this Rayquaza V back. But I'm pretty sure the 4th one is in the deck, so I don't know if they have to recover this one. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this on a Flaffy, I think. And then just go with an Azure Pulse. We just need a Lightning Energy. That's it. Nothing else. More stuff would be great, and this is more stuff. Another Rayquaza VMAX. Actually, maybe I want to keep this one as a V. Now I'm kind of regretting that evolution there. Yeah, we do have a V left in the deck. Okay. So attach, and then Azure Pulse. I could have discarded this one and hoped to draw another one, and I did end up drawing it, but actually we drew a research alongside it, so now I can research away this energy, draw a bunch more cards, and now we get to use 1 Dynamotor here, which is great. And then, yeah, Max Burst, 4 for the knockout. And we're going to get 3 prize cards. We're set up in a pretty good spot. This is not looking terrible. I'm like a little bit... the quick shootings are coming in pretty heavy. They're probably going to look to use a Glacial Lance this turn, if I had to guess. So they're going to probably Glacial Lance my active to get the KO. Or they could go with like a Pierce plus Leon, a Pierce plus double quick shooting. But then they have to deal with another Rayquaza VMAX. But they have quite a few. If they get double quick shooting out this turn, it's going to be a lot of quick shootings between this turn and next turn. Might put me in a little bit of a sticky spot, tricky situation. And there's that Path to the Peak. I think I still have 1 Mountains left. I don't know if it's in the deck. We do have this research in hand as well. And I got the Pal Pad as well, so we can recover maybe some Rose. I don't know if I want to recover Rose, though. Wouldn't be terrible. But now they've bench locked themselves, actually. So this is interesting. They've gone with bench locking themselves, and here comes a Marnie. So they're trying to get out a VMAX, it looks like, this turn. But I'm set up to win the game if they go with a VMAX this turn. I can just go, you know, send up this Flaffy, a bunch of Dynamotors, and knock out the active. So, interesting choice from my opponent. I don't think it's going to work out as well as they were hoping for or thinking it might. Maybe they're trying to trap my active and go with a Pierce and then quick shooting it twice over 2 turns, knock it out, hoping I can't move it. Maybe I should have put one of those Air Balloons down here. Didn't feel like it was correct in the scenario. I was like, I'm probably getting knocked out here. But it looks like now, like, we might not be getting knocked out here. Definitely need to shuffle my deck with this Great Ball, though, because there's... Oh, here comes a Reset Stamp. Still ton of outs, though, and now this can maybe get me that Air Balloon, actually, which is a little bit better than the Air Balloon and Boss. So a ton of options now in this hand. Ton of energy in the discard pile to accelerate to our Rayquaza VMAX. Yeah, the power of 4 Flaffy almost kind of showing through here. I feel like had plenty of energy to work with this game, though, so we didn't need the 4th Flaffy, but the game had been a little bit closer, we with an energy attachment or two, the fourth Flaffy could have been clutch. And actually, the fourth Flaffy is still good here because it does set this one up to be able to go KO and then boss knockout something on the next turn pretty well. So the fourth Flaffy hanging around here is still, or having access to it is still pretty nice and could definitely be a difference. Okay, so here comes the ping on the active. Then they're going to go with the Pierce. Now, one thing that they could be playing is they could be playing that Medicham. Now, they don't have a ton of bench space to set up a great play alongside the Medicham, though. Like, they could, you know, Pierce this, put it to 10 HP. Next turn, Medicham knockout, gain another turn. The problem with that, though, is just like, where do they go from there? They're actually hard retreating to the Sobble, trying to make me KO that instead. But I think I might just boss KO this V, and I think that'll just kind of line up the win for me pretty well. We'll see. I think I'm going to go for that, boss KO V. I don't know. Then it's looking pretty good. We have to get rid of, what, 3 energy to do that. There's an ordinary rob. I don't think I want anything else back in the deck, so just Dynamotor. Yeah, my opponent gave me a very good... That reset stamp was very good for us. I'm not going to lie. I could also knock out the active. But if I knock out the active, how much HP do I have? I guess I could end up in a place where Leon would get pretty good. The boss play seems super good, but it doesn't seem that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems good, but is it almost like a little bit of a bait here? No, I think we'll be okay. And then 1, 2, 3 for the knockout here. No, I think it's still pretty good to take this KO here like this. Like, in my head, I'm like, is it a little bit of a bait here? Probably not. Oh, there's the Stormy Mountain. So it was prized. That third Stormy Mountain was prized, but now it's in the hand. So if our opponent doesn't if they Marnie us, we're still probably drawn into a pretty decent draw, to be honest. If they reset stamp us again, that's where it could get scary. The reset stamp could be pretty scary. We do have 2 energy on our active, so we're pretty close to being able to knock out anything on board. And this one on the bench is set up pretty well too, and we can actually get 3 on that. Actually, I think we can knock out anything they could possibly put in their active this turn. So I think we actually maybe have this one locked up. I don't think there's any way. I don't see it anyway. If they have a way, I don't see it. If Stamp or Marnie gets involved, I guess like a Stamp plus a boss on my Flaffy while they sit there and quick shooting for a couple turns, that could be annoying. They eventually set up a VMAX and then go boss this one, KO this one. They would need a lot of quick shooting, so I'd have a lot of time to pull it off. But yeah, there's just the pass. Here comes the Max Burst, the Inteleon's in the active, so that's going to be an easy knockout. We get this dub over the Ice Rider with the Rayquaza. Slow start, but hey, they had a pretty slow one too, and we eventually, the big damage just couldn't be stopped. All right, here we go again. We won the coin flip, so we'll go first. I feel like it's very close, though. I feel like it almost feels like I want to go second, but at the end of the day, I always just choose to go first. I'm very close, though. It feels very close. So a top deck, there's a couple good things that would definitely be good to top deck. Ray VMAX is one of them. Go ahead and grab ourselves a Mareep. Then I'm going to attach active, attach air balloon. I'm actually going to retreat on this first turn as well, because we need to set ourselves up to be able to maybe Dynamotor to our Rayquaza. Maybe a 1 energy hit would be fine, but I want to set it up so I have the potential to get the Dynamotor. And we're up against a Urshifu Sylveon VMAX, the Sylveon VMAX box deck. So Urshifu very good against Rayquaza VMAX just because they can like snipe double Flaffies or double Mareeps or whatever, which can be really annoying to deal with. But it's not the end of the world. And without the Inteleons in there with the quick shootings to kind of back up the damage, it's not as scary as that build. That's a really good top deck in the research. So it's not the scariest thing ever, but it is definitely annoying. I definitely want to take out this Remoraid turn 1 if I can get it. I may as well attach here because we're discarding only 1 energy, can only Dynamotor once. It doesn't really matter too much. So we got Mareep. Let's get some more sheep. Grab another Mareep. And then grab another Mareep, I think. Let's see, why not? More sheep, the merrier. And then I'm thinking about discarding the hand, but I have a research in it, and I have a Flaffy. So I might just play for the 1-hit KO on the next turn. I think that is what I'm going to go for. I'm just going to pass to my opponent, let them take it from here. Yeah, I don't mind just kind of chilling. Like, even if they KO double Mareep next turn, should be able to pretty easily set up a 1-hit KO on the Urshifu. We've got the research. The biggest thing in this hand that I want to keep around is this research. Like, it's just really good to have. So I want to keep this research around to utilize on the next turn for sure. And yeah, we'll see. There's the Urshifu VMAX. So they just need to move the Remoraid, which probably won't be too difficult for my opponent. And then they will be able to use that G-Max Rapid Flow if they want. And here comes the Octillery that they will be able to utilize. The Rapid Strike Search. They're probably fine. They probably play a tower. Oh, but they have the switch. There goes the switch. And yeah, probably going to focus my Mareeps. They could go after hitting my Rayquazas, but of course leaving this much fluffy in play, this much fluff in play can be super dangerous, and that's exactly what Rayquaza wants to see. So I'm fine if they want to hit both my Rayquazas, to be honest. I might not even evolve this one at that point to not leave 2-3 prizers in play for my opponent to take advantage of, and just kind of see where the game develops from there. But if I have to evolve to like find an air balloon to move this Flaffy this turn, then I definitely will. But yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what my opponent's going to do here. It's all up to them. Do they want to KO Double Marie, keep this Flaffy trapped, or are they going to go a little bit more after my Rayquazas? Leave me bench locked. It does leave me bench locked. Of course, my opponent doesn't know I don't play like Crobat or Kricketune, so they won't be getting a ton of value out of that. Of course, my opponent doesn't know that. But here comes the G-Max Rapid Flow, and here is the hard decision. And you can see they're taking their time, so I don't think they quite know. And I actually don't know what's best, to be honest, here either. Both seem decent. I feel like I want to keep my sheep around. Let's see if my opponent feels the same, and in that case, they would chase my sheep. They don't want me to keep my sheep around, of course. They want to take them out if I want them. And they went after a Flaffy and one of my Mareeps. Now, unfortunately, I can't send up the Rayquaza. I have to send up a sheep or a Ray, and I'm going to go with a Ray here. Because we do need to get 2 more energy on this to get the knockout. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a Ray here. And then we need to find an air balloon. That's going to be the big card to find here. That is not it. We do want to recover a sheep as well. So we're going to hold off on the Stormy Winds use. How many energy are in here? None. So we're going to start with the research. Yeah, I'm going to keep this around so if I can ordinary rod that back. There are, oh my gosh, a couple air balloons. Just a few. So, air balloon. I kind of want to go further here. So we're going to go Palpad. Cover a boss. I'm not going to recover the research at this point. I think it'd be a little bit overkill, just not necessary. And I do need to attach return, so we will. Well, we're not guaranteed a sheep, so I guess I should attach return, right? Yeah. This on the Flaff. We have 1 air balloon left. And then I could bench the Ray. I'm not against benching the Ray here because I'm going to be able to set up that much Flaff that fast. Maybe not. I do want 4 Flaffy in play, though. And I do have Ordinary Rod to potentially recover this Ray and a 4th Ray as well. So I think it's fine to get rid of it here. All right, we get the knockout. But we don't have too much else to work with, to be honest. We do have the Rose, though. So the Rose can set up for a big play on the next turn, actually. But we don't have this one into a VMAX. So we can only roast the VMAXs. But maybe there's a VMAX prized. I'm going to go ahead and use this anyways. Just take a look at the deck. 1, 2. So it looks like there is a VMAX prized. So we could pull that off the prize cards. And then we could Rose to evolve here, Rose, and then go from there. So Max Burst, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get the KO. 4 pretty much KOs anything. The only thing that would survive the 4 is like an Eternatus VMAX with a big charm for like relevant meta decks. So yeah, big hit there. Pokegear, probably not going to use that. No Ray VMAX. It's really what we were looking for there was the Ray VMAX off the prize cards because that would set us up super well to be able to use the Rose next turn and get a ton of energy in play. Maybe even get another Flaffy. We need to find the fire energy, of course, but that wouldn't be too difficult. Here comes this Sylveon now from my opponent. We could always top deck the VMAX though. There is potential to top deck the VMAX. So that could happen. And the big thing here at this point is for my opponent is, can they find that tool card? Can they find the Sylveon VMAX's tool card to make it only worth 2 prize cards? Because then that's going to make it way harder for me to win this game. But if they can't find that, then, I mean, I only need to knock out the Sylveon to win the game, which I could potentially do next turn. We do have another Rose in the deck. Oh, no, we don't. Rose is in the discard pile. So we don't have another Rose in the deck. So it would be hard, I guess. Yeah. To get the KO. And there's the ribbon badge. They got it. They got the ribbon badge. We can't win on this next turn. It's impossible for us to win the game on this next turn. And we can't even KO this, probably, unless we top deck a VMAX. If we top deck a VMAX, we do have a chance. It's just kind of unlikely. So I'm kind of not holding out hope that we're going to top deck a VMAX here. Of course, I want to. I guess we top deck a Great Ball as well. We do have 4 Great Ball left. So 4 Great Ball and 2 VMAX. Not terrible odds then. I guess not terrible odds of finding it. And Great Ball, decent chance to see it as well. There's the Happy. I think they already used research this turn, though, right? A little bit aggressive on the Happy Match, right? Oh, they want to get the extra damage. I was like so confused for a second there. I was like, why would they do that? They want to get the extra damage in. That's a quick ball. That is not what we're looking for. And Rose of the Active doesn't get the knockout either. So yeah, I don't love this situation at all. I don't like it at all. Let's go ahead and quick ball. I kind of want to bench the Ray at this point. So let's quick ball a Lightning. Grab nothing. I just want to take a look through the deck real fast. All there. 2 fires. Okay. Not in the worst of spots. Could be in a better spot, but I mean, that is pretty much true for like every situation. I just don't know how I want to play this anymore. It's like super awkward to tackle from here, I feel like. gonna go with this. Fail that. Gonna bench the Ray. I think I want to attach here. Attach to this Rayquaza. That's what I want to do. And then we'll try and retreat to this one, make this one a VMAX that can hit this, and then this one kind of takes over from there to give ourselves the shot to win the game. What it's looking like to me. So I'm going to go with this. Not going to Dynamo Motor yet. And then I guess we're just going to go with that Azure Pulse. Just quick ball one more time real fast. Take another look. All right, all right. Yeah, don't want to use the Stadium yet because I could get another Mareep in play. All right, Azure Pulse, here we go. Would have loved it if that Pokegear had hit. There's the research. I was loving it if it hit the research. Found it anyways. Okay, so let's recover a couple poke. 2 poke. We just want some sheep. And then now we can use, this is why we didn't use the Stormy Mountain before, even to check the deck. Just use it now. Now we get the Mareep. Now I can level ball for another sheep. So we're getting some energy here. Now we need to find a VMAX for this one to just kind of chill with. I already attached return. We don't plan on hitting this turn. Found the VMAX. And I might want to split up the energy here between these two. So 2 here maybe. And then we'll retreat to this one and pass is what I'm feeling. I might burn this Great Ball as well. Actually, I want to save that to make this one a VMAX. So I guess I hold the hand from here. So I will, I don't love this situation still, but I guess we're in a Dynamo Motor. 1 here, 2 here, and then we have triple sheep for the next turn. A boss KO, we'd be able to switch stuff up as well. All right, so 2 here. And then I'm going to retreat into this one. And then I think I just pass. I think it sets us up best for the next turn. Yeah, I could have hit with 3 energy this turn if I had like not attached here. Well, I could have hit with 2 energy actually because I'd have to attach the fire. So I wouldn't do a whole ton of damage this turn. But I think this sets us up okay. I think we're in an okay spot, especially if they hit our active here. I'm sure one play they could be looking at here is, hit our active, bench Urshifu, get that ready for a G-Max Rapid Flow. But they're bench locked, so they can only bench 1 Urshifu. So we can go boss chase the Urshifu, knock that out, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I think we'd be in a decent spot, to be honest. Back-to-back bosses on whatever we want should be able to help us close out this game pretty well. No boss from my opponent. That's what we're looking to see, and we love to see it. No boss from my opponent, so they can't take a knockout this turn. Otherwise, they could potentially go like boss, right? They could boss KO this if they bench another type here, and then like boss KO Flappy or whatever. Now here comes that Urshifu, I'm sure, from my opponent, set up for the G-Max Rapid Flow to close the game on the following turn. It's a Ditto. I guess that does the same thing. I was like, what? But no, that does the same thing. They can use Ditto, becomes the Urshifu. But our game plan is the same. Boss KO that Urshifu, and then kind of go from there. Now we do need, or I really need this thing to hit a VMAX. I really want it to. I guess it doesn't have to be honest, but it would just make everything a lot smoother to be able to attack with this Rayquaza, I feel like, this turn. But I guess we could attack with this Rayquaza instead and still be in about the same spot. So I don't need the other Ray to attack this turn, I guess. But yeah, we're going to KO this Urshifu, stop the potential of G-Max Rapid Flow, and then we'll go from there. And I believe we have 1 air balloon left, so we should be all good to make sure everything can move from here on out. Nothing should get stuck in the active. And yeah, I think we're going to be in a pretty good spot to close this one out in just about a turn. And I don't think there's much my opponent can do about it. We'll see. We'll see if they got anything else up their sleeve, but I'm feeling pretty good about this one as of right now. I don't think there's a whole ton that my opponent's going to be able to do to stop us from getting the dub here. But once again, we'll see. We'll see. They might have something else up their sleeve. I don't see it. I have no idea what it is. I have no clue what it could possibly be. They might actually attack with the damaged Rayquaza, this one, instead. Low triple energy here. Attach fire here. Make this one a VMAX, hopefully, through the Great Ball. They're actually retreating to Octillery. That is an interesting play because are they going to play Escape Rope? They might be playing Escape Rope here, and that would be brutal. But actually, no, they don't have an energy. No, just a Dream Gift. Well, I think they're going to Dream Gift for the E-Switch here, I think. And then that way, next turn, they'll be able to go retreat Urshifu, VMAX, attach, E-Switch. But if I just KO this Urshifu, I mean, what do? Doesn't look good for them. All right, Air Balloon's in here. Other Ray is in here. Triple Flaffy right now. I didn't check for the other boss. I'm not going to lie. I was supposed to check for the other boss. I just didn't. I don't need this lighting anymore. Boss is in there. Cool. VMAX would be great. Ooh, Flaffy instead. I don't know if that really changes too much. I'm just got to think through it real fast right here. Got to boss this. Match fire here. Load up triple energy on this one, I guess. Now, I don't think it changes much. I think we're still in about the same spot. And actually, well, I want to save the Pokegear, but I wouldn't mind discarding the Pokegear as well, and then just getting rid of this Flaffy, just in case of like reset stamp or something, thinning out 2 more cards out of the deck. And Pokegear is not guaranteed to see the boss yet, so this feels a little better. Now I can do something like this as well, get this evolved, play the level ball, and there's the concede from my opponent. I guess the KO on the Urshifu is too much for them to handle, and yeah, I don't think they're going to be winning that one from there, to be honest. So couple clean dubs. The Rayquaza doing work. Like I said, I think there's a ton of potential with this card. Rayquaza VMAX, there's potential. Pretty much has to be comboed with Flaffy right now. And yeah, I don't know where it goes from here, but that's my current take on it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you enjoyed the content and you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.